Hello, welcome back to my haunted library. It's Regina. So today I thought I would do a little chat about writing. Now, I did post a blog a couple days ago. Before I did YouTube, I was an active blogger on my blog, Ex Libris Regina. Put the name right here if you're interested. But since I started my channel, my YouTube channel 2 years ago, I've really neglected my blog. So I'm trying to, now that I have a little more time on my hands being laid off, I'm trying to do a blog post a week. So let me know in the comments if you have any specific topics, writing topics you might want me to discuss or, bring up, and maybe we can have a conversation. And maybe I'll do one of these writing topics videos every week or every couple weeks. I still have to finish my Robert McKee playlist. I started that 2 years ago. And it is, granted, a long book, and it's very dense and a lot of material to cover. I'm a few chapters away from the end, so I need to get on the stick with that. Maybe I will make that plan for next week. I'll do a chapter. So Robert McKee defines good writing or good storytelling is a great story well told. And I think that's an excellent definition, whether it's a film, a short story, a novel, or someone telling a story. We all hopefully know someone, a family member or a friend, or someone at the local coffee shop or something that's great at telling a story. So what is good writing? Well, I just read two books that kind of made me reflect on this. One was a book I've been meaning to read for a while because it's one of those books where I kind of like pretended I read it, but I never did. And that's The Vampire Lestat by Anne Rice. This is book 2 in the Vampire Chronicles. I've read Interview with a Vampire twice, and I may have read one or two in the series, like of the later books, like Blackwood Farm. I don't know if all of these are part of the vampire series. I guess I should remember that. But I finally read this, and it is a bit of a chunker. It's about 500 pages of very small type. And I also read, and this I really did enjoy, the graphic novel of it, which is beautiful artwork. I got this on eBay, and I'm really glad I got it. It's part of my Anne Rice collection. So The Vampire Lestat, I don't want to do a whole review on it, but it was really a challenge to read this because I noticed that something about the way Anne Rice writes, and I noticed this about The Witching Hour too, but for some reason that kind of held my interest more because I think I just liked the characters better in the setting. But she doesn't really plot. Like there's no real plot going on. It kind of just meanders. And sometimes I'm a little more tolerant of that. I mean, God love him, Stephen King does it too. Clive Barker does it. It's like these excellent writers who are not, they're deviating from any kind of plot. They're storytellers, so plots do kind of develop organically, perhaps, but they're not plotted. And it really showed in this book. And the whole time I'm reading this, I was saying to my husband, I'm like, I'm halfway through this book and there's still no plot. And he's like, how can you read a book that has no plot? And I was like, yeah, why am I sticking this out? I had the same problem with someone like Donna Tartt, and I love The Secret History. I love The Goldfinch. Her second book, The Little Friend, was like 500 plus pages of beautiful writing about something, but again, scenes, like, oh, what a gorgeous scene, what a gorgeous scene, what a gorgeous scene, no through line. It could have just been me, but that's my opinion about The Vampire Lestat. Now, I will continue to read the Vampire Chronicles because I want to. I want to keep reading them. But yeah, now I remember reading an interview or seeing a video or something where Anne Rice was talking about her process, and like a lot of writers, she had a hard time like even really articulating it, but she said, she doesn't know what her characters are going to do. She lets them lead the way. And when she wakes up in the morning and sits down at her typewriter or whatever, she is surprised sometimes what Lestat will do, or Armand or whatever. And to me, I can see that in her work. I can see that it's like she's making it up as she goes along. And that's not really my approach to writing at all. And the kind of writing that I appreciate is more in line with the way I aspire to write. This is why I love Ira Levin. This is why I love Thomas Tryon. I love really well crafted fiction that you could say has some, I don't know, cheap shots maybe, or some tropes or twists and things like that. And a lot of times I think there is a almost like a literary snobbery against some of that type of writing, like the James Patterson type of writing. And I'm not a James Patterson fan. Like, I've only read one of his books, and I loved his masterclass. In fact, I developed an enormous crush on him. When my library opens up again, I plan to, pick up a James Patterson. Like, those are the types of books I get out in the library. My favorite type of reading experience is when I'm not thinking about what a beautiful turn of phrase that is, or wow, they did a great job with that scene. If I'm too conscious of the writing, to me, that's not a good reading experience. So on some level, I'm saying that's not maybe great writing for me as a reader. So unlike Vampire Lestat by Anne Rice, the book I'm currently reading is incredibly plotted, incredibly crafted, and just all around awesome. And that is A Simple Plan by Scott Smith. I found this in the thrift store. It has this nice little step back. I knew what this was about because I seen the movie years ago and I loved it. And I knew that once I opened this book, I could not put it down. And I was, up very late last night for me, meaning like 10 o'clock, reading this book. And it's great. It's so good. I loved The Ruins, and he has not written that many books, but they're perfect. And I would have to say this is even better because the characters are so great. It's a great premise, great hook. Basically it's like, what would you do if you found a suitcase filled with millions of dollars? So that's the premise. Do you keep it? Do you turn it in? What do you do? Well, every step along the way, just like in The Ruins, the main characters, and it's told from a first-person narration, this character makes every wrong decision all the way down the line, influenced by other people's wrong decisions. And it is brilliant. It is brilliant. Why I love this kind of book and this kind of writing is I'm just in it, I'm pulled in. The premise is so strong. The through line is so good. That's a great story. It has like a noir element to it. It has horror in it. The horror is about like what you're capable of doing that you don't even know because of greed. But not only that, the money becomes a secondary issue because what it uncovers is this evil that is inside this character. And it's done in such a beautiful way in that it just slowly, like the layers are slowly peeled back. So you are at once like with that character making the same decisions, or you're off to the side screaming, no, stop, don't do it. It's great. If you haven't read this book and you love a good thriller, I highly recommend A Simple Plan. The movie is also really excellent. But as far as really great writing and what makes great writing, this to me is great writing. It is a great story, well told. And that is the type of writer that I aspire to be. And I have a long way to go, but this inspires me. So let me know in the comments below how you define great writing. And if you have a book that, to you exemplifies a great story, well told, I would love to hear your opinion. So if you would like me to do more writing topics on my channel, let me know in the comments below and I will try to accommodate. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for stopping by my haunted library, and I'll see you soon. Bye.